My friends, today we will be going to see a very important topic for all NEBOSH aspirants, for the NEBOSH candidates, and the topic is open book examination. So sorry for the delay in making this video. One of our subscriber, my colleague, he had just forwarded me an email asking me to do a video on open book examination sample paper, which was recently released by the NEBOSH. Sorry for the delay again because of the work schedules. I'm not able to properly upload all the updated materials and informations to you, but very soon I will try to finish all the parts, the question parts and the notes. So friends, as you know, our channel is publishing videos in both Hindi and English format. The aim is to make sure that our content or our subjects, the topics, shall reach to most of the people. It reaches to most of our brothers and most of our people in our community. My aim here is not to generate the views, because to make a view it is always better to make a single video. But why I am creating two videos is that the people who are not very much comfortable with English can also learn and understand. Because by grace of God, I am in a very good position and I don't need the earnings from the YouTube to survive. Why I am running this channel is for the passion which I have for this field. I wanted to teach some few points from my side to others, because even like you guys, I have started my career as a fresher. When I was a fresher, even I had faced lots of problems in understanding concepts, getting materials, and also that is the reason I am here. What I wanted to tell you brothers is, it is very simple. The NEBOSH is very simple. You can pass it on. I am sure whoever is listening to this video will be able to crack the NEBOSH exam in their next attempt, because the NEBOSH, as you think, is not very difficult. It is very simple course. But what is the problem with most of the people, with most of the candidates, are they are not able to understand the questions, they are not able to understand the scenarios properly. Because the first reason is the language. Since most of us are from Asia, our mother language is different. We are not a regular user for the English language. We will be using our mother language all the time. So this is the reason. In our case, for the Asians, what happens is we need some time to understand the questions. But if you see the other part, in UK this course is very you can say it's very simple one. Simple in the sense, the people there, for them this will be very easy, because they are very comfortable with the language side. So I have observed, even years before when I joined my course for the NEBOSH, I faced some problem, because what I understood is we need some time to understand the questions, because the examiner, the board, the NEBOSH board will be asking something and we will be thinking in another way, in another direction. So the trick is, you have to make sure you also think in the same way as the board is thinking, the NEBOSH board, the NEBOSH examination board is thinking. If you think in that way, definitely you can crack the exam. And the second thing is the fear which the learning partners used to put in the mind of students. I'm not talking about all learning partners or institutes, but I got some feedbacks from some students, like some institutes, they will put some materials, they will be just distributing some materials, or they will be explaining the concepts in a very bad manner. So the students, obviously they will feel like the course is very hard, because the students who are very much comfortable with communication skills, those who have already worked in this field, for them the course will be very easy. But if someone is new into this field, it will be little difficult for them to understand the concepts. So it is always good to go for a better learning partners or good institutes. But you have to make sure that the tutors who are teaching there is always very good in this subject, because institution, the name of the institution is not a big thing in learning NEBOSH, but it depends on the skills, the expertise of the tutor or the instructor who is taking the course. Now coming to our content, this video I'm going to do it only in English, because the first thing is the video length will be very long, and I have some tight work schedules, so I have decided to post it only in English. But I'm going to use very simple statements, and I will try to control my speed, the way of communication, the speed. It will be little slow so that you can understand, everyone can understand. And if you have any doubts also, you can get back to me on my email. So friends, I request you to open the sample paper which you have received from the NEBOSH. If anyone of you doesn't have this paper with you, please send me an email, and I will email back to you. Okay, so now I will just go through the instructions. If you see the first page, you can see they have given all the instructions. The thing is very simple. They are saying the examination will take approximately 4 hours. The standard time is 4 hours to complete it, and you can give this exam from anywhere, even from your home. You have to register with your learning partners, your institute, and they will arrange the date for your exam. And the total words will be 3000. And again, there will be scenario which will be given to you, and the task will be there. Under this scenario, you have to write the answers for this task, and the mark will be provided. For example, if a question is of 10 mark, there will be word count which will be mentioned for that question. You have to write, you have to make sure that you write your answers under this word count, below this word count, and plus 10 or 20 is okay. But if you go above that, you won't be awarded any mark. I think the concept is very simple. If you write more than the word count, if it is plus 10 or 20 word counts, you won't be awarded mark. That point won't be included in the mark. So it is very important you write the important points first. Even in my all notes which I have published in my channel, I used to say very clearly, always try to prioritize, give priority to your answers. What I meant from the priority is, you have to write the important or the exact answers first. You can, as you know, you can write many points, but the important one you have to write first. So let us understand this priority with an example from the work situation, from the work scenario. This will help you to understand how to write your answers in a priority basis. For example, if I ask you what all precautions you will take, what all things you will check before starting an excavation or any hot work in your company. So in that case, there are many answers, many points you can write, right? You can say, like in case of excavation, the pipes, the cables you will check, you will be checking the PPEs, you will be checking the barricades, you will be checking the availability of the checklist for the equipment for the excavation, the competency of the people who are going to do the work, the PPE. Similarly, for the hot works, what all precautions you are taking, right? The gas, presence of gas, everything. But all these answers, what you write is right. This is absolutely right, but you have to write in a proper order. You have to write in a proper order means, the first you have to write the permit. You have to check the permit, right? For both these activities, any activities in the site, you have to make sure that first statement is you have to check the permit, whether the permit is there. If the permit is not there, then obviously you can start the work. So after writing all these points, in the last, if you are writing, you will check the availability of permit, then the examiner or the NEBOSH board, they will understand you are just bluffing up. You are just trying to memorize all the points and you are writing it in the paper. So this is not what they want. They want the people who understood the course. So first you have to make sure that you start from the priority basis. First you will be starting you will be looking on the permit for that work, and from there you can go on in the priority basis. So this is how you have to tackle all the questions in NEBOSH exam or in the scenario based questions. So coming to our sample paper, now you can see a very big situation, a big scenario is explained in the question. So as I said, the communication is very important. You have to read the question very properly. You have to understand it. Then only you can write the answers for the task. So I will read out for you. They are saying you are appointed as a health and safety advisor in a construction company. So you work in a head office, which is a 2-story office building, right? They are saying you have 20 other office-based workers who administer the construction contracts. One of these workers has impaired hearing. So you have to visualize this scenario in your mind. You have to think you are working in a new site or in a site, and you have 20 office-based workers. In 20 office-based workers, one guy has an impaired hearing. Impaired hearing means सुनने में उसको प्रॉब्लम है, उसको अच्छे तरीके से सुनाई नहीं देता है. That is the meaning of impaired hearing. Okay, so it means you have to understand there is a vulnerability in the manpower. So you have to be very careful, because you have now whatever answers in the task they are asking, you have to remember these points. You have to include these points in your answer, because these all are the important points which is mentioned in the question, and the NEBOSH is checking whether you have noted these things in your mind before you write the answer for the task. So I will suggest you, if you have rough paper, you can write this point in the side, that there is a worker who have impaired hearing in the site. Now the second one, an office-based contract manager who coordinate construction work contracts and activities. So there is already a manager is there assigned from the management side who is taking care of the contracts. Now 20 mobile construction workers are there, including an operation manager is also there, who occasionally visit the office in their vehicles. Now the opening hours of the office are flexible depending on the needs of the work. Now the next point is very important. You have to note it down. The contract manager has a reputation for being irritable and unapproachable. He is only seen when arriving and leaving, and is occasionally abusive if interrupted. So it means this contract manager, he is a very rude person. You can't approach him for any help, right? He is not he's not showing good commitment to his labor force, to his man force. And you can never see him on the site. He will be just coming and leaving the site. He's just doing his duty by just coming to office and he's leaving. So you have to note down this point, because it shows there is no proper commitment from the top, right? He's a contract manager. There is no proper commitment. He is not providing any motivation in the sense he's not coming in contact with his workforce. Now in the next statement, you can expect some questions like, the office building is in a business park away from main traffic routes. The office has its own on-site car park, but spaces are sometimes limited. When all of the allocated spaces are taken, some vehicles are parked across existing parked cars, blocking them in and making it hazardous to maneuver. No one has assessed the risk in the car park. So this statement means there is no proper parking facilities. There is only limited parking facilities, right? They are parking the car behind the another car, so obviously it will be blocking the pathways. The people, if someone is parking a car behind the another car, they won't be able to take out the car. There will be no proper assessments are done for this parking area. Some people will be confused with the word hazardous to maneuver, MANOEUVR, maneuver, which means there is no proper skills for moving the cars. There is no proper guidance for the car, which shows there is no proper security persons, right? In some sites you have seen in the basements or all where you park the car, there will be people who are available to guide you to park the car in a proper place, or to, if anyone keep the car in behind of your car where you have parked it, then the security officer or the security guard will come and he will tell him to move the car to another free slot, right? Like what you see in the shopping complex. So there is no proper such kind of systems here, which is also shows the big limitation in this scenario. Now in the next statement they are saying a near miss occurred in the car park where a construction worker, when he was reversing his car and it was about to hit another worker who was going towards his car. So obviously there will be verbal argument between both of them. So what you did as a safety officer, you went there, but you discussed with them informally, not in formal way. You informally, just to know like what is the condition here in this company. So what they said is, even before this kind of near misses incidents used to happen, but they never used to report to anyone because there is a blaming culture in the company, right? Similarly, no one used to listen to them. So these all are the negative culture. It shows negative. They are the indicators of presence of negative safety culture in this company. So you have to note down all this on your rough paper along while you read these things. They told you there is no health and safety discussion between workers and managers. So now by this time, as a safety, you have understood, right? These all are the negative indicators. Negative safety culture is very much present in the company, right? So now you understood what all things you have to do from your side, right? You have to think in this way, in this kind of scenarios. So now what you did, you discussed this near miss and other incident which happened there in the parking lot. You have discussed it with other workers and the operation manager, and you took their opinions also, because you wanted to improve your health and safety culture, right? This is the duty of a health and safety professional. So you are doing your job, so you have to take the responsibilities, right? So when you took their opinion, they said the worker, right, who was about to struck, who was about to hit by the car, he said it will be always safer if everyone reversed their car parking. So like in most of the companies everywhere, where in all companies they used to park their car in reverse manner, so that it will be very easy to take out the car during any emergencies, and also it will prevent this kind of collisions, this kind of near miss or incidents. So you understood, right? This was a good suggestion from that worker. Similarly, when you took the feedback of manager, what he said is, in this statement is like, he was saying this kind of incidents used to happen for many years, but no one is injured seriously. So that is the reason they are not taking care of this kind of incidents. And what he is saying is, people will take sort of these things themselves. So what it shows the management is not committed to health and safety practices. Now also you took opinions with other workers, and what they said is, there is no proper lighting facilities in the car park area. The illumination, there is lots of dark spots in the parking area. They have floodlights on the office walls, but it is not properly working. So if the lights are not working, no one is reporting to the management that the lights are not working on the spot. So after seeing this kind of very bad situation in the company, you have decided to review the health and safety parameters in the company. So the first thing what you will do is, you have to check, right, where is the general policy statement of intent on health and safety, where is the policy, company policies. So you found there is no policies on the notice board, right? Nowhere policies are mentioned in the company premises. Then you ask the contract manager. They said policy is a very important document. Yes, he agrees, but what he's saying is, this guy is saying it is only needed for third parties, just to show. So from these words, from this statement, you can understand how much importance these people are giving to health and safety in this company, right? You can understand what is the level of health and safety culture, which is not acceptable, right? So by this time, all of you have understood the storyline, right? You have to understand where the story is going on. So you have to first, when you read this kind of scenarios in NEBOSH exam, you have to understand this is where the story is going on. Now you have to think, okay, this is the situation, this might be the situation which is coming up. They will be asking this kind of questions because they have already put this situation in front of you, that this is the conditions, these things are not there in company, they are not having any policies. So obviously you have to think the policy is not there. So what will be the problems which an employer can face if the policy is not there? What legal actions can be taken against them? So these kind of questions should come up in your mind by this time when you read the scenario. So for this, I said the communication is very important. You have to make sure that you read the question properly, because if you don't understand, if you don't visualize this scenario in your mind, you can never pass this exam. Now continuing the story, now you have decided that you will be going to conduct a safety committee meeting, and you have informed your contract manager or the operation manager that we are going to conduct an health and safety committee meeting, and they have agreed because this meeting was done a year ago, right? So now this is the scenario, friends, and based on this scenario there will be some different tasks, different questions which they will ask you. So we will discuss these questions, and also I would like to say one more thing. This kind of scenarios, this kind of questions, it is very difficult to get on internet. It is very difficult to get on printed on any of the books. So what you have to do is you have to understand the concepts very clearly. Recently I have tried to publish this kind of some questions in my videos on question and answers section for element 3. But what I'm doing is I can't go for a very big scenario, right? Because in YouTube it is not possible for us to make a very big video or very big scenarios and to discuss. So I have tried to make small questions where I am trying to give you small scenarios and asking you what all steps you will be taking. So this is similar to this kind of scenarios, right? So you can go and practice those questions also, and you can get these questions and this kind of videos from the playlist of our channel. So now let us discuss the different tasks or different questions under this scenario. So friends, the first task is you have been asked to chair the health and safety committee meeting. Before the meeting, you decide that you will open the meeting by reminding everyone of moral expectations of health and safety. Prepare notes of the moral arguments you will use the meeting, and the 10 mark is given. So this is the scenarios we have discussed, right? Now you have to say about the moral arguments. What are moral arguments which you give to your contract manager, your operation manager, and the other members of the health and safety committee to make sure that why health and safety is very important. So when you read this question, this is not out of syllabus, right? It's very simple. If you think, this is the very first topic of our syllabus. Why health and safety needs to be set up in a company, why it is important. The 3 reasons all of us knows, right? The legal reasons, the economic, the financial reasons, and the moral reason. So instead of asking these 3 reasons, what they are doing here is they will be asking you for the moral reason. You have to explain with moral arguments, or the moral points has to be included. So how you can support your answer is, in the moral argument you have to mention about the current accident statistics. You have to mention. Friends, it is very important, especially the people who are evaluating the papers in NEBOSH are very impressed. They will be very impressed if you can give the statistics. The statistics records are very important. Even the years before, when I wrote my NEBOSH IG1 and IG2, wherever the case studies they used to ask in questions, I used to personally give the statistics. So you can't bluff, you can't just go and give any statistics. What I will recommend you is, it is a very good trick. You can check the website, the NEBOSH, all the NEBOSH contents, the NEBOSH materials, they, the UK, the NEBOSH board is from UK, right? So they are referring, or they are preparing these materials using www.hsc.gov.uk. This is the standard website which I will be giving in the description. You will get all the informations in this website, everything, whatever you need. If you search, you will get all the informations in this website. So you have to get the statistics from that website. In that website you will get all the accidents, the rate of accidents, the slip and trip hazards, the accidents because of that, the near miss incidents which is happening all around the world. So this informations you have to put into your argument. So when you put these arguments, the examiner will be very much impressed that they knows that you know about what is happening all around in the safety. So this is very important. This website I will recommend all of our subscribers, all of our candidates to just check and try to understand the concepts. Everything is very clearly explained in this website. Now the second, you can explain the moral values, like what will happen if the accident happens to the worker. You can explain to the management like how they will suffer if anything happens to the workers, how their family members will be affected, right? How they are earning for their family, even they are here there to earn for their family. So how an individual and their family will be affected if this kind of accidents happens. Also you have to explain to them, if these kinds of incidents or accidents are prevented, it will boost the moral value of the workers who are working in the site, because if no one is taking care of their safety, then the people will not work in a productive way. They don't give their 100% into the production and into their work. So to boost the moral of the workers, it is very important to make sure that health and safety parameters are followed. So these kind of points you have to include. You have to search, you have to write more points. So if you write in this way, with making sure that all the relevant points are included, because there will be the word count, it will be very easy to tackle this task. Now the second task, why near misses should be investigated. So they will ask you the question like, at the health and safety committee meeting you discussed the recent car park near miss, you remember? Some of the committee members dismiss the idea of investigating the tribal car park near misses, but you disagree. They are not interested, the management. But what arguments can you give to convince the committee to investigate this car park near miss? So ultimately they just wanted to get this answer from your side. What are the benefits of investigating a near miss, the incidents or accidents? Why we have to investigate the accidents? What are the benefits of reporting the accidents, the near misses or the investigation? This is the idea behind this question. You have to understand. So I will tell you what all different points you have to write, but again, as I said, word count is very important, and the people who are going to check your paper is very looking forward to get something which let them make sure that you know the concepts very well, right? So the first thing what you can start for this answer is, you have to tell them today's near miss is tomorrow's accident. This is the statement. This is a very well defined statements which all the HSC professionals use in their use in their communications, in the meetings and all, you can say, because whatever the near misses which happens today, it will leads to accident tomorrow. So this kind of statements, when you write in the exam, the people the who are verifying your questions papers, right, the who are verifying your answers, whatever, they will be very much impressed, like the today's near miss will be converting into tomorrow's accident. So that's what I said, the priority you have to give. Then apart from this, you can write many other, the future incidents, the accidents can be avoided, the company can save the cost which happened because of the accidents or because of the hospital issues, the medical claims the company can save, the lost time injuries, all this can be avoided, right, medical treatment cases can be avoided. So basically friends, this is what the NEBOSH wants to hear from you, because these all things like this LTI, the MTC, the RWC restricted work case, all these concepts are very well used in the safety field. So they wanted to know how you have any idea about these things. So when you mention this kind of terms, technical terms, obviously you will be awarded full mark. There is nothing to worry. But if you write just a general things like you can say like to avoid the accidents and the incidents in future, your answer is not completed. So this is way how you can write the answer. Rest you can write all the points, but you have to make sure the answer which you give, it starts in a very impressive manner. So if you follow this kind of answering techniques, you will be surely getting the distinction, because the people who are getting distinctions in NEBOSH, I think only few people are there, but whoever is getting the distinctions, they are not very different from you people. They are similar people like you only, because even they have started their career in this field, right? They are also learning the new concepts, but how they are getting the distinction or the credit is they are doing something different, because they are not just studying the materials, or they are not just studying the things which is given by the learning partners or the institutions. They will be getting some additional information, and when you put this additional information into the paper, into the answers, you will be getting the full mark. So this is the short method or the trick which I am sharing with you. You can apply in your exams, and you can get a very good mark for against each questions. It will give you a very good impression or start in front of the examiner who is checking your answers. 3 is the continuation of our story. Now you have informed all these things to your committee. Now what your contractor manager is trying to save his ass. He wants to save himself from the blame. So what he did is, he's tried to reassure the health and safety committee that company has an adequate statement of general policy for health and safety. He have all the statement of general policy, everything is there, and they are doing all this blah blah, right? So copies of this policy are shown to the committee. And what he is saying is the health and safety policy is committed to these points which is mentioned there. So based on the scenario only, comment on how effectively this policy has been implemented. How effective is this policy implemented? So here basically you have to mention to the safety committee that whether this policy is implemented properly or not. So they have already, NEBOSH has given you, right? You know what all contents are there in health and safety policy. So they have mentioned like to prevent the accidents, to investigate accidents and near misses, to prevent injury and ill health, to provide safe and healthy working conditions, to provide safe plant and equipment for office and mobile workers, meet legal requirements, identify health and safety hazards, consultation with worker, provide adequate training. So you have to comment against these points. You have to mention to prevent accidents, what all steps are taken in your organization. There is nothing against this policy. The company, the contract manager, the operation manager, or the management is not doing anything. Investigate accidents and near misses. You have to mention there are no investigations and accidents which are done from anyone here. No one is reporting these investigations and accidents. prevent injury and ill health. There are chances of people getting accident in the working area. In the dark light, there are chances of getting collided with the vehicles. The accidents may happen. Similarly, the point about the consultation with worker, there is no proper consultation with the workers, so you have to give the points, and you have to prove that the health and safety policies, the commitments which are mentioned in the health and safety policy is not getting fulfilled here, and you have to give the reasons why. So from this scenario, you have to write down all the you have to point out what all things are they are not following up, and you have to write against each point. So this is what you have to do in task 3. So now the task 4, which is again the continuation of the story. Now you have proved to health and safety committee that the policies are not fulfilled, right? Your company, the management is not fulfilling the health and safety policies. There is no proper implementation of rules and regulations. So they have decided to get a proper consultation. The health and safety committee now look at the consultation within the company. What formal meetings could you plan that are likely to help improve the consultation in the workplace? So again, friends, this is the section which is to test the effective communication methods which you can apply from your course. So how can you improve the consultation? I have informed you in our past videos. The consultation is a two-way process, right? The two-way communication. So you have to explain to them how you can do a better consultation with your workers, because from this scenario, there is no proper consultation. The last safety committee meeting was held years before. So you have to first tell them, the safety committee, every week one safety meeting has to be conducted, and so on. The members from the management, if any worker representative is there, the technical members have to be included, right? Similarly, the consultation, you have to inform them about the information passing on. The health and safety policies has to be displayed on the notice board. The notice board has to be implemented. All the communications, the mode you have to select. You have to provide the different posters in the parking area. You have to provide different kinds of signboards. The reverse parking is must. You have to put the board like reverse parking is very important, right? Similarly, you can say you have to conduct the toolbox talks, pep talks, the trainings. The trainings must be provided where the workers will be able to understand the issue, their equipments, their work nature, so it will prevent the accidents. There must be proper near miss incident reporting system to be implemented in the organization, so that if any workers come across any kind of near misses or incidents, they can report it in properly, right? There must be safety programs, the safety quiz programs, or the safety boosting programs to be implemented, like if the like what we do in our companies. If the workers are following all the safety regulations, if they are reporting everything, if they are very well in following all the regulations, you can reward them. You can give them some small rewards or some prizes, the trophies, which will boost their moral values. So this kind of things you have to write. Yeah, and also I forgot, you have to implement the communication system which can also help the disabled person, the impaired hearing person was there, right? They have given in the scenario. I have discussed in the beginning the vulnerability. You have to make special programs for them also. How you can communicate with them, the graphic posters, how you will make them understand the things, the safety issues, how you will pass on the information with them. So this point also needs to be included, because this is a very important point. You won't get mark if you forget this guy. So this is very important to mention the impaired hearing persons in the communication part also. You have to favor the consultation in that way also. So it shows you have considered all the workers in your company. Now our last task, which is the fifth task, the safety culture. Based on the scenario only, comment on the current health and safety culture in the company. So the Nebosh wants to know what is the current situation. So first you have to explain them about the health and safety culture. What kind of health and safety culture is there in your company? Obviously, right, from all the points which you have written down or the noted, it is sure it is following a negative safety culture, and you have to write why. What is the reason the health and safety culture is negative? Because blaming culture is there. There is no proper method to report investigations, accidents. Similarly, there is no proper consultation with the workers. So all of these points which are mentioned in the scenario, you can include and you can show the negative safety culture is getting there in the company. So finally, friend, this is the scenario paper which we have discussed, and I'm sure all the doubts are clear. So finally, I wanted to say, I'm sure very well, I'm sure you all of you will pass this exam. This is not a very big task. The only thing which you need is presence of mind during the exam, and try to clear the concepts, study hard the contents of your course. Whatever the content is there, study hard, learn it properly, and you have to use it in a proper way. So you can expect this kind of scenario questions in the exam. There are variety of scenarios which can be made, because it is very easy for the NEBOSH to create this kind of scenarios and ask the questions. Even you can expect this kind of questions in the emergency procedure section. Like they can give you the different kinds of emergency situations, and they can give you this scenario, and they can ask you what all procedures you will follow, what all things need to be there before setting up this kind of emergency procedures. For the emergency procedures to be there, what all things need to be there in the site. This kind of questions they can definitely ask you. So it is very important when you learn the contents, learn in such a way that you are trying or you are preparing for the scenario based environment. So when you start preparing your questions in the scenario based rather than by hearting or rather than learning, it will be very easy for you to pass the exam. And I'm sure after clearing this kind of open book examination pattern, it will be very easy for the newcomers. Especially it will be helpful for the freshers to clear the interviews in the future, because in the interview also these days the people, they are asking you the questions based on the scenarios. There is no definitions, like no one is going to ask you the definition of safety, the definition of hazard or the risk, right? Because if you are into safety, if you have done the NEBOSH, then obviously you know what is the definition of safety. There is no point in asking the definition of safety, hazard and risk to the people who are stepping into the safety, because these are the basics. These are like the alphabets, basic alphabets which you learn in English. So best of luck to all of you. Work hard. I think the first exam will be in August. By August, after the first exam, I'm sure we will get the other sample papers, and we will be come to know more about this exam after once the August exam is finished. And as I always used to say, we have lots of brothers in our community who want this kind of materials, this kind of support. So if you know anyone, or if anyone needs help, so please share the video. It is not about getting any views, but it is about sharing what we know to the others. And even in future, after clearing these exams, I will suggest all of you to share your experience, share your feedback to us. So be in touch.